Hello, everyone. I know that I have had a ton of you asking me questions about the food storage and self-reliance and preparedness. What's the end goal? And so I made just a couple of slides to talk about and hopefully answer a bunch of your questions. And of course, this is just a huge topic, so I won't be able to cover everything, but I figured I'd at least give you an overview of what I'm trying to accomplish with my food storage. So um, there is a site that or a reference from the church that I have. This is from the First Presidency, and it's saying that they recommend that we have a year's worth of food storage, and then of course for water about 2 weeks worth. And then I put my reference there, and I also put the reference in the video as well. So that's my goal is to have a year's worth of food storage, and then you might ask the question, well, what is it exactly that we want to be storing when it comes to our food storage? And they actually detail that, and this is part of that link that I'll put in the description of this video. But this is based on one adult, and you can actually size this for children as well, depending on their age. I have another slide for that here and a couple slides from here. But you want to have things like grains, legumes, powdered milk, cooking oil, sugar, and honey. I'm not going to go break down, how much of each you should have because it's right here on the slide. You can go back and watch the video if you want all those details for helping yourself make your own plan and making yourself more prepared. Um, and then when it comes to water, it's recommending 14 gallons, and that 53 L's liters. It threw me off there for a moment. My brain, for some reason, didn't convert it. But you know, 2 weeks worth of water, and of course, with all these things, once you have what you need, you want to cycle through it. Especially water. Some water goes bad while it sits in storage. Especially at my house, we tend to get that. Um, and so adjusting for your family size, like if you have kids that are under 3, those portions I shared with you, it's about 50%. Ages 4 to 6 is 70%. 7 to 10 is 90%. And then once they hit 11, and of course, those teenagers, they eat a lot. You might even want to have more than what this says because those teenagers just eat so much food. I remember when I was a teenager, I ate a lot. Um, and then the list, I've I have been putting it in my more recent videos, but this is the list, and I figured some of you would want to see this all broken out. And a couple things I want to point out, and we'll take, for example, sugar. Yeah, I mentioned sugar one time here, 20 pounds, but it says it again on week 7, and the idea is that, you buy 20 pounds once, and then you go through and buy another 20 pounds, and by the time you're done going throughout this list, you should have close to what your year supply should be, or if you're not even close, I'm sure you'll be close, but by the time you get to that point, you'll be able to continue on this list and start making yourself little by little more and more prepared for emergencies. And this is a really cool thing because it's not just about your having a year's worth of food supply, but if something goes down, you also want to have the ability to serve your community and serve other people that are around you. And of course, if everybody comes knocking at my door, there's no way I'm going to be able to support everyone. But if we have like a whole community that gets involved and does something like this, that can have a significant impact on helping other people that are around you. There's other types of preparation. I made a short list, and there's other things that you can prepare for that I haven't mentioned here. But spiritual, electrical, like, I like to have power. It's great for your electronic devices, um, communications. Some people might think, oh yeah, just the ability to text with my phone. Um, but there's other people that like to have their ham radios and use those for communication. And they're great for short range, within a couple of miles of each other. Transportation is really important. Yeah, maybe there's no longer gas, so now you need a way to get around. A bike might be a solution to that, or maybe you'll find something else that'll work, that will allow you to still get yourself to and from work or pick up groceries or whatever it is that you need to do. Um, you have your outdoor survival. So if you're, not necessarily at home, but for some reason you get stuck in the outdoors, you know how to make yourself a shelter or find food or all kinds of things. The outdoor survival is just a huge topic of discussion. I don't know that I'll go that deep into it because there's so many other people that talk about this subject. And then there's life skills. Um, Probably the most important one, especially when it comes to your food storage, I would say is being able to cook. That's a very important skill to develop, especially when you're talking about self-reliance. But other things that, depending on your area, uh, some areas are very prone to floods, so maybe you'll want to have a boat or a bug out bag or an emergency plan that allows you to just leave quickly. Some areas are prone to fires, and maybe you have some kind of emergency plan for that. And then I did put this at the bottom. Some people would probably view it as really, really important. Um, and I guess that just depends on you as a person. And that's why there's no one encompassing list that is for absolutely everyone. But the last one I've put here is financial. Um, and there's a number of resources out there, but you want to have enough that will supply you for a significant period of time. So anyway, that is the conclusion of my list that I have for today, and kind of share with you my end goal. At some point, I do want to make some videos about the electrical stuff, and how you can have self-reliance with your electricity. Other things I didn't put on here that are just now coming to mind, you know, heating and cooling. If it's winter time, you don't want to be freezing to death. You might want to have some alternate sources of heat. There's just so much stuff. Anyway, if there's more, and there is, I'd love to hear about what other types of preparation that you can make, and throw that into the comments. And if this really made you go take some action to make your self-reliance better, throw us a like and put it in the comments. I want to hear all about it. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it.